Bro, you told me you've tried everything. Deleting apps, installing blockers, starting another streak, promising yourself this is the last time. And yet, you still find yourself back in the same place. So let me ask you something. What if watching porn isn't actually the problem? What if you're fighting the wrong battle? Bro, I had to learn this the hard way. There were so many times I'd go on a streak, a few days, sometimes a couple of weeks. And during that time, I'd start feeling confident. I'd think, okay, I think I've finally beaten this. I don't think I'm ever going back. But then life would get a little quiet. I'd get bored. I'd stop doing the work I was supposed to do. I'd slowly neglect my prayer life. I'd spend more time scrolling than actually living. Nothing sinful, nothing explicit, just Instagram, just random posts. Then I'd come across a really beautiful girl, or maybe a picture of a girl I liked, and something inside me would shift. Not lust, not immediately, just thoughts. Thoughts of companionship, thoughts of intimacy, thoughts of what it would be like to have someone beside me. And bro, I wouldn't relapse that day. I'd put my phone away and think, I'm fine. But I wasn't, because the battle had already begun. Over the next few days, those thoughts would keep coming back. The loneliness would grow, the boredom would grow, the restlessness would grow. And because I wasn't bringing any of it to God, and I wasn't directing that energy into something healthy, it just kept building, quietly, almost unnoticed, until one day the pressure felt unbearable. And then I'd relapse. For the longest time, I thought I lost the battle the moment I opened a website. Now I don't think that's true. I think I lost it days earlier. I lost it when I stopped guarding my heart, when I became passive, when I stopped praying, when I stopped paying attention to what was happening inside me. And bro, that's why I think so many of us are fighting the wrong battle. We're obsessed with stopping the relapse, but we ignore everything that quietly leads us there. The boredom, the isolation, the drifting, the neglected prayer life, the unprocessed loneliness. Those things don't always feel dangerous, but they're often where the battle is actually won or lost. Because temptation rarely appears out of nowhere. It usually grows in places we've stopped paying attention to. That's why Jesus didn't only talk about outward actions. He kept pointing people back to the heart, because that's where everything begins. And bro, I'm not saying Instagram is evil. I'm not saying seeing a beautiful woman is a sin. I'm saying you need to understand yourself. You need to recognize the patterns. You need to notice what happens in your heart long before the temptation becomes overwhelming. Because once you see the pattern, you stop being surprised by the relapse. You start recognizing the warning signs, and that's where wisdom begins. So next time you feel yourself drifting, don't wait until you're hanging on by a thread. Don't wait until the pressure becomes unbearable. Bring it to God while it's still small. Go for a walk. Get back to the work you've been avoiding. Call a friend. Open your Bible. Pray honestly. Not because those things magically remove temptation, but because they bring your heart back to the one who actually changes it. Bro, I don't think porn is where most battles begin. I think it's where most battles become visible. The real battle starts much earlier. And once you learn to fight there, everything else begins to change.